Week 1. I'm so excited, man. I don't even know what else to say. Week 1, man, it's time. Let's get it.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Wait, take. Cowboys.
Throws back of the end zone. There's
What's up, everybody? Hey, Cowboy C3 here. I am excited. This is week 1. Cleveland versus Dallas. Away game in Cleveland, 3:25 on Sunday. Whew, it is time, man. I'm excited about this. We've gone through this whole offseason, all in, not being all in, went through the draft, went through OTAs, went through training camp, went through preseason. It's football time. It is time. Okay, let's get this out the way. We got a little Dak Prescott contract news. It seems to be that the problem with the Dak Prescott contract is not the money. It's the time, the length of the contract. Dak is looking for a more long-term deal while the Cowboys are looking for a short-term deal. I have a feeling that might be switched around, right? The reason being is because Jerry did an interview with Stephen A. Smith. And of course, he was asked about Dak Prescott playoff success, right? And he was also asked about this contract, $60 million, a lot to play for a quarterback. Everything that Jerry alluded to had to do with Dak for a 5 to 10 year period. Everything. Dak's game ages well. In 5 years, we think that Dak will be this. In 10 years, we feel like Dak will be that. I don't think that the length is the problem with the Cowboys. I think it's the problem with Dak. I think Dak wants a shorter term deal, right? Guaranteed money. Makes sense, right? And it looks like that this whole September 8th deal thing where, hey, if the contract is not done by September 8th, the contract talks are over. Dak's team has come out and said that they are willing to negotiate throughout the season, right? Seems like Dak wants to be there. Seems like Jerry wants him there. Seems like the money's not the deal. Let's just get this over with, right? Everybody has. Dak Prescott is the most ridiculed quarterback, I think, in Cowboy history. And it's for a number of reasons. Playoff success. I have said it on this podcast many times. I have said it to people just walking and talking Dallas Cowboy stuff at work, on the phone, all the time. When it comes to January, football is chess. It turns from checkers to chess. And the Cowboys have not had a good chess player, i.e. head coach, since Jimmy Johnson. I don't think Mike McCarthy is a bad coach. I don't. I think Mike McCarthy has restraints on him that keep him from becoming the coach that he should be with the Dallas Cowboys. And those restraints, look, there's a common denominator between the Dallas Cowboys when they fired Jimmy Johnson and now in that whole period of not having success. And I think we all know what that is. I don't think I have to say it. I think we all know what the common denominator is. In order to be successful as an NFL franchise, and all you have to do is look at these franchises like the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's just take them for example. And I use this example too quite a lot when I'm having conversations about quarterback play and all this type of stuff. When your quarterback is down or your quarterback is not having the game that he is capable of having, i.e. past Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, right? The head coach will make play calls to put that quarterback's confidence at a higher level and make him achieve success. That's what they do. I haven't seen that with the Cowboys. I haven't seen it. Now, I get into these social media discussions. I get into discussions with my family. I get in discussions with my friends. Oh, Dak doesn't do this. Dak doesn't do that. This, and this. You're just a Dak lover. You love Dak the more than you love the Cowboys. Look, man, first of all, I am a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? One thing you will learn about this podcast really soon is that I call it like I see it. That's what I do. If Dak plays bad, I'm going to tell you about it. If the defense plays bad, I'm going to tell you about it. If Dak puts the team in position to win and the defense blows it, you're going to hear about it. If the defense puts the team in position to win and then Dak goes out and throws a pick, I'm going to tell you about it, right? That's just how I am. Dak is not the biggest problem on this football team. He's not. The biggest problem on this football team is you have to have a strong coaching staff in order to be successful, right? Mike McCarthy is a good coach. He wasn't even allowed to choose his own coaching staff. I mean, just do the math. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of coaches that would come into that type of situation anyway. He took a chance, was out of coaching for a while, took a chance, came here, and was successful, right? He has been successful 3 straight 12-5 seasons. Once you get past January and you start getting into the playoffs, that checkerboard goes in the cabinet and they bring out the chessboard. And he's just not a good chess player. It is what it is. Anyway, 3:25, Sunday. Cowboys, Browns, on Fox, primetime game. Cowboys are 2.5 point underdogs according to FanDuel, right? There are some keys to this game that are kind of evident, man. And of course, the number one key to the game, in my opinion, is going to be the Tyler Guyton versus Myles Garrett matchup. You have to keep Myles Garrett contained. You have to keep him off of Dak Prescott. 75 sacks, right? In the past 75 sacks, Myles Garrett has got those 75 sacks. 52 of them have been from the right defensive end position. That means he's going against the left tackle, right? He also lines up in the middle. He also lines up at the other defensive end. They kind of move him around. He's very versatile, right? You have to contain him. That is key number one. Number two, which may even be like 1A is contain Myles Garrett and 1B is stop the run. You have to stop the run. The Cleveland Browns under Bill Callahan is one of the most creative offensive line coaches that I know of, right? Even when he was here in Dallas and back in DeMarco Murray days, you talking about trap plays, pulling guards, pulling the center and the guard, pulling tackles, all sorts of just deceiving things that confuse defenses, right? Callahan is gone. He's gone. They let him go to Tennessee. And Andy Dickerson, who was kind of a protege of Bill Callahan, right? It is one of those things where I don't think much is going to change, right? Cowboy, when he left the Cowboys, the run game totally changed, right? And it didn't work out as well. You had Zeke. Zeke just hit holes real fast, but you see he got old fast, right? Because he ran the ball so much. But there wasn't very much creativity, right? The Browns have that kind of creativity. They are a run-first football team. That is what they do. And if you do not stop the run, you are going to have a long, long afternoon. If you do not contain Myles Garrett, you are going to have a long, long afternoon. Linebacker-wise, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is everywhere. That dude is everywhere. They signed veteran Jordan Hicks for the middle to kind of solidify that middle of their defense. You got Denzel Ward at the corner. You got Grant Delpit, high draft pick at safety, who's played very well. They're good at corner. They're good at nickel corner. They're pretty decent at safety. I think that safety is kind of the weak point of their defense. They're good at linebacker. They're excellent on the defensive line. Got 11. Myles Garrett had 14 sacks last year. They got 11 sacks with him on the sideline. Him taking a break, they still got 11 sacks. They get after the quarterback. They play good defense. This is your classic matchup of high-powered offense versus strong defense. It's classic, right? Cowboys, offensively, they have to establish a run game. One more defensively. One more. And I almost forgot. We all know that Deshaun Watson from Houston hasn't shown up in Cleveland. He hasn't, right? And he's kind of been an afterthought with that offense. You think of that offense, what do you think of? You think of Nick Chubb running the ball down people's throat. That's what you think of. Jacoby Ford's there now. Nick Chubb is still out. He's on the injured reserve list. He's going to be out for the first at least 4 weeks. They were good with Ford. They were still good with Ford. Hell, they went to the playoffs with Joe Flacco at quarterback because Deshaun Watson broke his shoulder. He's coming off this broken shoulder injury. We haven't seen him all preseason. The Cleveland Browns have kind of a strange philosophy with their training camp. They do not scrimmage, for one. And number two is they don't practice in full pads. They don't practice full contact. So you don't really know how this run game is going to work because it's just a bunch of tapping on the shoulders with the starters, right? You saw the backups play. Their starters haven't played yet. Cowboy starters haven't played yet either, right? But they've been through 2 scrimmages. Both of them were with the Rams, right? Raiders had a little illness going on. So they didn't want to practice scrimmage. But Cowboys have been through 2 live scrimmages, and at times they looked very good. Dak looked very good in some scrimmages. He struggled in some scrimmages too. To his defense, right, he didn't have his number 1 receiver. The best part about CeeDee Lamb being out was that he had to build a relationship with his other receivers. He had to build a strong relationship with Brandon Cooks because Brandon Cooks was his best receiver. You got to see Jalen Tolbert out there take Michael Gallup's place because he had to take Michael Gallup's place. Michael Gallup is gone. He is retired. Dak had to throw him the ball. You saw Kevontae Turpin quietly have an excellent camp. Excellent camp, right? Dak built a relationship with these guys because CeeDee Lamb was out. CeeDee's back now, right? I expect CeeDee. You will see CeeDee on some sort of pitch count. But I promise you, if this game is close, my $34 million receiver is going to have his ass on the field. You can book it. He will be on the field. Cowboys need to establish some sort of run game. They have to. I don't care if it's 2 yards a carry, 3 yards a carry. To be honest with you, Rico Dowdle and Zeke Elliott don't really pose like this formidable task of stopping for the Cleveland Brown defense. They just don't, right? As strong as the Cowboys attacked the linebacker position and the defensive tackle position this offseason, right? And on into training camp and everything. They signed the defensive tackles, the last week of training camp. They did not do that in the running back room. There is a reason why Major Sports Network has the Cowboys running back room ranked 32nd out of 32 teams. You look at it, it is not formidable. You have to keep them honest. You cannot let those 2 defensive ends just pin their ears back and come at Dak Prescott. You can't do it, or you're going to have a long afternoon. You got to establish some sort of running game. You have to have a run-pass mix. You have to keep them off balance. Mike McCarthy is going to have to call a game where there is about a 60-40 mix. We know they're going to use Dak Prescott. They got him in the garage. They're going to take his ass out and they're going to drive him, right? He is going to throw the football. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got a Lamborghini out there now, right? He's worth a Lamborghini. You're going to give him the football. You have to run the ball, though. You have to keep that defense honest. This defense is talented, and you have to keep them honest. It is going to be necessary for Dak Prescott to perform under pressure. He's very good under pressure. He's very good with being blitzed, and they're being man-to-man coverage. He is good at finding an open man. He is good at that. He is going to have to do this on Sunday. If they can't get home, they will blitz to get home. Their job is to the Cleveland Brown philosophy on defense is to disrupt the quarterback's play, right? We are going to stop your running game and make you throw the ball, and we're going to pin the ears back and let these defensive ends get after you. And for some reason, if they can't get after you, then we're going to blitz the hell out of you. We are going to make you uncomfortable. Dak seems to be comfortable in those type of situations. He is going to have to be that on Sunday. Right out the bat, that's going to happen. He's going to have to be comfortable. Most importantly, I think offensively, is you are going to have to be effective in the red zone. I love Brandon Aubrey. I love him. He is a fantastic kicker. If you get inside the 45-yard line with Brandon Aubrey, you are essentially in the red zone. You almost guaranteed a field goal, right? When the ball comes inside the 20, it's kind of weird how the Browns play defense. They are very good from 20 to 20. Once you get in the red zone, they have some issues in the red zone stopping teams from scoring. And it can be the run or the pass. The Cowboys when they get inside the red zone, your number one goal should be to walk away with 6 points. You are going to struggle to get to the red zone. Once you get there, you need to walk out with a touchdown. You have to. This is how you win this football game. Red zone efficiency, more touchdowns and field goals. My prediction is going to be a tough one, right? I can see the Browns offense struggling, especially with your left and your right tackles out. Jack Conlon, your right tackle. Jedrick Willis, your left tackle. They're both out. Jedrick Willis is out for sure. He came out yesterday right after practice and said, I'm not playing on Sunday. That bodes well for the Cowboy defensive ends, right? So I expect them to put a lot of pressure on Deshaun Watson, put him in some uncomfortable situations. Looks like both teams are going to be doing that. I expect a tough, hard-nosed football game. Final score, 17-14, Dallas Cowboys. That's my prediction. I've been pretty good at these predictions. I've been calling these preseason games. I kind of been telling y'all what's going to happen. I think I'm calling this one too. 17-14 Dallas in a hard-fought football game. That's my prediction. Okay, I'm not going to hold everybody up. I know it is the opening day for football season. Kansas City and Baltimore, excellent game. I'm watching it in the background right now. Sunday, after the game, we will go live for a post-game reaction. We'll talk about it, good or bad. But I think we're going to be talking about a Cowboy victory. All right? Hey, man, Cowboy C3. Hey, it's good talking to y'all. I'll see y'all on Sunday. Have a great one. Go Cowboys. Watch these games. Peace.